So let's come to the next lines. The lines are, all right, you'll cry. All right, you'll say. But if we take the set away, what shall we do to entertain our darling children? Please explain. Now the poet says that he knows what the readers or especially the parents would ask him. The question is how parents shall entertain their affectionate children if they take the TV set away from them. The poet has the answer in the following lines. So in these lines, he is asking a question on the parents' side, that how are the parents going to entertain their children, their beloved children, if they remove the TV set, they throw the TV set away out of the house. So how are they going to entertain? The children need to be entertained somehow. So how are they going to entertain the children? And Dal attempts to answer this question of parents in the next lines, which we are now going to read. Okay. So here we are. So these are the lines which are given in your book, these ones. We'll answer this by asking you what used the darling ones to do? How used they keep themselves contented before this monster was invented? Have you forgotten? Don't you know? So now I'll explain these lines. The poet answers the above question by only by throwing a question. So the parents asked a question in the first place, and now the poet is trying to answer the question only by throwing another question. Okay, so what's that question? What people used to do to keep themselves entertained when the television was not invented? TV set is a dreaded device, a monster to him. He wants people to remind what they used to do in the absence of such a device. He's talking about a time when the TV sets were not invented. So what did people do in those times? They used to do creative things. They used to read books. They used to do crafts. They used to talk to other people. They used to be social. They used to play. Okay, so the other activities which TV has totally taken away. So those activities he's talking about, and he's saying that life is possible without a television, and this is the reason he keeps on insisting that television set should be thrown away out of the house. Let's come to the next lines. We'll say it very loud and slow. We'll say it very loud and slow. They used to read. They'd read and read and read and read, and then proceed to read some more. Great Scott, Gadzooks! One half of their lives was reading books. Please notice that he has written all these words in bold because it creates a little impact in the poem. So he has written all this in bold. Now I'll just explain what these lines mean. The poet himself reminds us that the children in the earlier times used to read lots of books. Surprisingly, people then spent half of their lifetime by reading books. Great Scott, Gadzooks is an expression of surprise or amazement. Let's come to the next lines. The nursery shelves held books galore. Books cluttered up the nursery floor. And in the bedroom by the bed, more books were waiting to be read. Now I'll just explain these lines which are already given in your book. In those earlier days, the nursery shelves were all full of books. In nursery schools, books remained scattered on the floor. Even in their home, the bedroom and the bed, books cluttered up everywhere. So he is describing a scenario where basically a lot of books, people's houses, people's beds, the bedside, bedroom, everything was like full of books. The books were scattered everywhere. People loved books so much. Let's come to the next line. This is a long one, but very interesting one. Just read it carefully along with me. Such wondrous, fine, fantastic tales of dragons, gypsies, queens and whales, and treasure isles and distant shores, where smugglers rode with muffled oars, and pirates wearing purple pants, and sailing ships and elephants, and cannibals crouching round the pot, stirring away at something hot. It smells so good. What can it be? Good gracious, it's Penelope. Here, the poet talks about the popular books of adventures. There are a lot of books on adventures which have been written, and he is talking about all of them, popular books of adventures that children used to read in his time. In those days, boys and girls read fantastic stories of dragons, gypsies, queens, whales, treasure islands, smugglers, pirates, ships, elephants, cannibals, and so on. Okay, so all the difficult words have been already discussed in the previous video. You can go to that previous video. In that, glossary and little things about the poet have been already discussed. So whenever you don't understand a particular meaning, you have to go there and you have to find out the meaning. Let's come to the next lines. The younger ones had Beatrix Potter. The younger ones had Beatrix Potter, with Mr. Todd the dirty rotter, and Squirrel Nutkin, Pigling Bland, and Mrs. Tiggy Winkle, and just how the camel got his hump, and how the monkey lost his rump, and Mr. Toad, and bless my soul, this Mr. Rat and Mr. Mole. Oh, books, what books they used to know, those children living long ago. What beautiful lines he has written, and now I'm just going to describe these lines. The younger children used to read stories written by Helen Beatrix. This is another writer, author, whom basically Roald Dahl is trying to pay a tribute to. And these younger children basically used to read stories written by Helen Beatrix Potter, an author of children's books featuring animals with colorful illustrations. Dahl here pays a tribute to the children author for her fantastic stories on animals. He also mentions some of the stories like how the camel got his hump, and some characters like Mr. Toad, Mrs. Tiggy Winkle, etc. from those stories. This shows the poet's love for those books and how he enjoyed them in his childhood days. Let's come to the next lines. So please, oh please, we beg, we pray, go throw your TV set away, and in its place you can install a lovely bookshelf on the wall. So in these lines, Roald Dahl, the poet now is requesting, okay? He now requests the parents for their own good to throw away the television set and install a bookshelf in its place. Let's come to the next lines. Then fill the shelves with lot of books, ignoring all the dirty looks, the screams and yells, the bites and kicks, and children hitting you with sticks. After installing the bookshelf, Roald is saying, he's saying that after installing the bookshelf in place of a TV set, the parents will face some dirty looks, screams, yells, bites, and kicks from their children, because children never like that the TV sets will be thrown away. They are not going to like it at all. So he's saying, he's basically warning the parents well in advance that parents are definitely going to face, what are the parents going to face? They are going to face some dirty looks. From whom? The children. The children are going to give a dirty look that, Mummy, Papa, why have you removed this television? Dirty looks, screaming would be there, yelling would be there, biting would be there. This is a little exaggeration, and kicking from their children, okay? So I'll just repeat this line. After installing the bookshelf in place of a TV set, the parents will face some dirty looks, screams, yells, bites, and kicks from their children. They may even hit them with sticks. Now this is an exaggeration. No child does that, but still it's just a exaggeration feature which he has utilized in this poem. He is saying that the children may even hit the parents with sticks, but the poet insists on filling that shelf with a lot of books on various topics, ignoring all those screaming and such. Let's come to the next part. Fear not, because we promise you that in about a week or two of having nothing else to do, they'll now begin to feel the need of having something to read. Now, these are the lines which have not been given in some of the books. So, I have just included it in this video. So, just try to understand it as a part of the poem, okay? This is not given in the book, so it's very even more important. Dal here assures us that after a week of or two, there's a mistake here, or two, those children would find nothing to do without a TV set around. So they will finally feel the need to read books. They'll come closer to the books on their own. He's saying that when you'll not have the television, after a week or two, you are definitely going to come to books. The children are going to come closer to the books for sure. Let's come to the next part. And once they start, oh boy, you'll watch the slowly growing joy that fills their hearts. They'll grow so keen. They'll wonder what they'd ever seen in that ridiculous machine that's nauseating, foul, unclean, repulsive television screen. Now, these are again the lines which have not been given in your book, so it's very important to understand what these lines mean. So I'll just explain them now. So he's basically saying that once they start reading, that is the children, when once they start reading, the only way is ahead of them. They will find it interesting to read more and more books. That will give them the imagination and thoughts, the knowledge and wisdom, the satisfaction of mind and heart. And at one stage, they'll grow so keen on reading books that they'll wonder what they had found in that silly machine called television. They'll find the television screen disgusting. Disgusting is that they'll hate it, and unclean then, as they will discover the real joy of reading books. Okay, so let's read the next part now. And later, each and every kid will love you more for what you did. And finally, these are the two lines basically, and now I'm just explaining these lines. And finally, each and every kid will love the parents for giving them the opportunity to find real joy in reading books. Even when they would grow up, they would thank their parents for taking that television set away and installing the bookshelf there. The poet advocates for reading and only reading. Dal thinks TV can never be a substitute for books. Books are the only things that can deliver real wisdom. And this is all about this chapter, poem, television, and it was very nice poem, and I hope it inspires you to stay away from the television and read books. Thank you so much.